Shalom. I'm going to continue on in the video. I'm going to reread Jeremiah 22 and 22. And it says, "The wind shall eat up all thy pastors, and thy lovers shall go into captivity. Surely then shalt thou be ashamed and confounded for all thy wickedness." Not teaching the people the truth. I'm going to jump to Jeremiah 23 and verse 1. And it says, "Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, saith the Lord. Therefore thus saith the Lord God of Israel against the pastors that feed my people: Ye have scattered my flock and driven them away, and have not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doing, saith the Lord." Because when people go to church and stuff, what the pastor mainly push every church: pay your tithes, pay your tithes. He might sit in the bowl around 2-3 times trying to collect the money, because that's what they about. Churches basically became a money making business. The truth is not in the churches no more. I'm not gonna say if it ever was, because I don't know, but I can tell you this, that the truth is not in the churches anymore. All they care about is the money now. They're not teaching the people. You just go there, sit a couple of hours, pay some money, listen to him yell, and then you go home. And that's not even how the Sabbath is supposed to work. You're supposed to give the Most High 24 hours of time, you know, to him. You're not supposed to just go for a couple of hours, then you do the rest of do whatever you want for the rest of the day. It don't go like that. So apparently the truth is not in the churches. And I'm gonna give a precept to what I just said. This is Acts chapter 7, verse 48. It says, "Howbeit the Most High dwell not in temples made with hands, as saith the prophet." Because the Most High, he don't just go around from church to church and just be there and stuff like that. He don't dwell with temples made with hands. He ain't with the churches, and the church is a temple, and it's been made with hands. So that's what he was saying. He don't dwell with it. He ain't with it. The Most High he has certain people that he goes to. That's why he raised up prophets, in during the Old Testament. And John was a prophet too, and during the New Testament, he had prophets. He didn't deal with churches and stuff, because a church ain't nothing but a group of people, a body of people. You can have church at the house. Church is not just no building or nothing. That's a temple, but the church is actually people. So the Most High don't dwell with temples. He don't dwell with the actual place that people call church. I'm gonna jump to Jeremiah 3, verse 14. It says, "Turn, O backsliding children, saith the Lord, for I am married unto you, and I will take you, one of a city and two of a family, and bring you to Zion. And I will give you pastors according to my heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding." The Most High said he go give you people that's go teach you the word, and give you knowledge and understanding. And that's along with me and also the other brothers that's out there in the four corners pushing this truth and sincerity. And in truth, that's the pastor that you need to be listening to. That's the shepherd you need to be listening to, because we actually bringing out the truth of the scriptures, not going through what religion say, what man-made doctrines and stuff like that. We telling you the truth, trying to push this word. That's what we supposed to be doing, waking up the masses of the people, of our people, and also, trying to live by the word, not just teaching it. Try to live by it. That's what you're supposed to be doing. I'm going to jump to Acts chapter 2, verse 17, and it says, "And it shall come to pass in the last days." We living in the last days right now, because all the signs and majority of the prophecies then came to pass. It's just a couple of more before, the Son of Man come back, and bring destruction to this place. So it says, "And it shall come to pass in the last days, saith God, I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams." Now this is of the Most High, because he said, "I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh." Of course he didn't pour it, when he said he'll pour it out on all flesh, he didn't literally mean every single person in this world, but he was saying when he meant all flesh, he was going to pour it out upon his people. He might pour out, might give information to, other nations, so they can bring out truth too. But ultimately he's talking about his people, and we gonna be the ones prophesizing and teaching you this word, because I can tell you that a couple of like 4 years ago, I didn't know anything about this truth. You know, I was new to it 4 years ago, and he woke me up. You know, I'm gonna read verse 18. And on my servants and on my handmaids, I will pour out in those days of my spirit, of my spirit, and they shall prophesy. So, like I said, you know, he was pouring out his spirit upon us. He not pouring out his spirit upon the other nations, but he might give them information so they can bring out some truth or something, you know, to help wake us up. You know, because sometimes some people might not have woken up by another brother. You know, they might have seen the video of a so-called white man saying that, you know, we the so-called Jews. You know, he not bring out no scriptures or nothing, but you know he probably brought out some historical information or anything like that. So, you know, I'm gonna give a precept to this. This is Acts chapter. This is the same one. I'm gonna just read verse 16. It says, "But this is that which was spoken by the prophet Joel." And you know, this was spoken in the Old Testament. So I'm gonna jump to Joel chapter 2, and it said, "And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your old man shall dream dreams, and your young men shall see visions, and also upon the service upon the handmaids. In those days will I pour out my spirit." You know, he was just saying the same thing. You know, he gonna pour out his spirit upon us, and we would go start teaching his word. You know, start having dreams and stuff. And I actually had a dream a couple of years ago, actually 4 years ago. I had a dream when I just became into the first got into the truth, and I just briefly bring it out. Let this be the thing that I close out on. But in my dream, I was in this type of building, and I walked outside, and it was cloudy outside, and I seen like this fiery hand coming out of the sky, and it was picking people up and bringing them into the clouds. And so I didn't actually see myself get picked up in it, but inside of the clouds, somehow I got in there. I was inside this, you know, chariot. It was you know how the old in back in the days, how a chariot would look, where it was black and it had fire surrounding it, and I couldn't look around or nothing. I couldn't move or nothing. But in my dream, I was hearing, you know, I was actually talking to someone. I knew it was God, you know, in my dream, but in actuality, I wasn't actually hearing what he was saying, so I couldn't tell you what he was saying. But you know, and it's spiritual too, because the Most High give the angels chariots to move in, but it's not the chariots that you think, like it was like man-made chariot. It's not a man-made chariot. They actually have a different vehicle. But in my dream, it was a chariot because it's all spiritual, so I can understand it. You know, the Most High was being that was wonderful, because you know he gave it to me to where I can understand it. So anyway, continuing on, in my dream, I was on this bus, and it was three buses, and we was going on the interstate, and like I was in the right lane, and it was two buses in the left lane, and we had came to this kind of fork, and my bus was going up to the right towards the it was like it was going up to the right and curving up, and the other two buses was going down to the left, curving down. And I already knew what that meant in my dream. In my dream, they were going to hell, and we was going to heaven. So you know, I'm gonna bring out some scriptures just to prove that, you know, the Most High giving people dreams in these last days. This is John chapter 10, and I'm gonna jump to Matthew chapter 25, excuse me, and I'm gonna start at verse 32. And before him shall be I'm gonna start at 31. When the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory. That hasn't happened yet, so that's future prophecy right there. And before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them from another, as a shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on his left. You know, because that symbolizes the buses. You know, I was on the right bus, and it was two buses on the left, in the left lane. And it said, then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, or the right lane, come ye, blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you for the foundation of the world. For when I was hungered, and ye gave me meat, I was thirsty, and ye gave me drink. I was a stranger, and ye took me in. Naked, and ye clothed me. I was sick, and ye visited me. I was in prison, and ye came unto me. Then shall the righteous answer him, saying, Lord, when when saw we and hunger and fed thee, or thirsty and gave thee drink? So they asked him, when did we do this to you? And he said, when saw we that thee a stranger and took thee in, or naked and clothed thee? Or when we saw thee sick or in prison and came unto thee? And the king, which was Yahushua, shall answer them and say, Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye done it unto me, one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me. Then shall he say unto them on the left hand, Depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. That's to symbolize the people that was on the left bus. The two left buses. I'm not going to read all of it. It's just saying the opposite, that they didn't do that what he had said, But it's not just talking about doing that. It's also talking about doing the work and waking up the people. So that's also symbolizes the dream. But now to even get more further deep into it, where it symbolizes, because it was three buses, one bus went to the right and the two buses went to the left, and you already know that the right is the kingdom, and the two left was going into everlasting fire. I'm gonna jump back to Zechariah 13:7, and I'm gonna start at verse 8. It says, And it shall come to pass that all in the land, saith the Lord, two parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be there left therein, because when we was going up, it was my bus was the only one going to the right, and the other two buses was going down to the left. So that's what it was talking about. Two parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left, 1/3, 2/3. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and try them as gold is tried. So, we go through trials and tribulations. It's not going to be just an easy path. I mean, it's an easy path because the law, statutes, and commandments are not grievous. But, he's still going to try you, test you. They shall call on my name, which is Yahweh, and the son's name is Yahweh Shai. So it's Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. And by Hashem means in the name of, or in the name. So it's Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. And I will hear them, and I will say, It is my people. And they shall say, The Lord is my God. So, it was all spiritual that the Most High gave me that dream. And, when I first came into this truth, it clicked with me. It sat right in my spirit. And, Yahweh Shai, the Son of Man, he said in John chapter 10, verse 27, My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. So, he's not physically here, but I still follow after him because, this truth set right with me in my spirit. So, a lot of people not gonna be able to grasp this. It's not meant for everybody. But, if it sits right with you, the Lord said, My sheep hear my voice. So apparently you're on that right path if this sit right with you, because this is the truth. And I'm going to end on Hosea 4:6, where it say, My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. A lot of people don't want to get with this truth. They don't believe it. Even when you bring out scriptures and prove it to them, they still rather just stay in their doctrine, the Caesar Borgia doctrine, stay in these Christianity doctrines, all these other different religion doctrines, which is not the doctrine that the Most High gave us, the truth that he gave us. I'm sorry, not doctrine, the truth that he gave us. He said, Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no more a priest to me, seeing that thou hast forgotten the law of the forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children. So, Most High serious, man. He's serious about this. And I'm going to end on that. Shalom.